When a crime is committed, we operate under a clear social contract. We pay taxes, and in return, police investigate, pursue suspects, and deliver justice. But history is littered with cold cases where that machinery stalls out, leaving families with nothing but questions. In Northern California in the 1960s, state and federal authorities were completely paralyzed by a phantom. The killer who called himself the Zodiac treated his murders like a public game, mailing coded letters to newspapers and daring the police to catch him. When an entire law enforcement apparatus is outmatched by that level of calculated complexity, the official investigation collapses into a void. 20 years later, in 1988 Los Angeles, 22-year-old Matthew Chase went out to cash his paycheck and never returned. His roommates, Teresa and Steve, immediately filed a missing persons report. The LAPD refused to act. An assigned detective looked at Chase's photograph and noted the shape of his eyebrows. Based entirely on that detail, the detective labeled the 22-year-old a runaway and abandoned the investigation, leaving a family without help based on a snap judgment of his appearance. When an agency is defeated by a mastermind or blinded by its own prejudice, the pursuit of truth doesn't stop. It falls to whoever is left. Looking at this animated timeline of the night's ATM activity, Steve found an anomaly. After a single initial deposit, the card registered a highly unusual withdrawal request for $280, followed by 11 consecutive denied attempts. Chase knew his daily limit was lower. He was weaponizing this knowledge, leaving intentional digital errors to signal he was under duress. Armed with a pattern but lacking police backup, the roommates set a trap. Teresa staked out that exact ATM with a knife hidden in her pocket, while Steve slowly circled the block in a car, hoping to catch the kidnapper returning to the scene. The roommates eventually forced the police to recover Chase's car, discovering a single blue bandana, a calling card of a local gang, that sat overlooked in evidence for years, while the friend successfully decoded the victim's hidden signals. The Zodiac Killer operated on a similar assumption of police incompetence. He demanded his ciphers be printed on the front pages of newspapers, confident the authorities lacked the intellect to read them. He was right about the government, but by putting his codes in the daily paper, he inadvertently crowdsourced his puzzle to thousands of regular people. In 1969, a Salina schoolteacher and his wife cracked his 408-symbol cipher in days. Donald and Betty Harden didn't use supercomputers. They used a simple psychological crib, guessing that an arrogant killer would inevitably use the word kill, and unraveled the code from there. The killer adapted, mailing a new 340-character cryptogram. This one defeated the FBI, the CIA, and naval intelligence for half a century. In 2020, an international trio of civilian programmers built custom decryption software and finally broke it. Whether analyzing ATM timestamps in Los Angeles or writing brute force algorithms over in Belgium, ordinary citizens consistently bring an intense level of focus to these mysteries that bureaucratic systems struggle to maintain. Despite these massive civilian breakthroughs, neither case ended with a judge handing down a sentence. The Zodiac killings remain officially unsolved. The man long considered the prime suspect, Arthur Lee Allen, died in 1992 before anyone could build a definitive case against him. Matthew Chase's case dragged on for 30 years. Eventually, a dedicated Facebook group pressured investigators to re-examine that overlooked blue bandana, finally linking Chase's murder to a member of the East Side Playboys named David Meza. Meza never saw the inside of a courtroom. He was shot and killed in a gang dispute exactly 2 days after Matthew Chase disappeared. The resolution of a cold case rarely looks like a Hollywood trial. Often, justice simply means removing the uncertainty and documenting the truth. State agencies operate on rigid budgets, strict protocols, and sometimes deep-seated biases. Human curiosity and loyalty don't have those limits. From desperate roommates scanning the streets of Los Angeles to digital codebreakers untangling a 50-year-old cipher, the democratization of investigation ensures that even when the system fails, the victims are never truly forgotten.